The Galactic Empire was vast, its reach extending to the farthest corners of the universe. For centuries, the Empire had ruled with an iron fist, conquering civilizations, crushing resistance, and maintaining an order that no species could challenge. The various alien races under its banner knew their place. The strong ruled, and the weak obeyed. The Emperor's laws were absolute, and the Council of Elders ensured that no disruptions could ever threaten their supremacy. But there was one species that no one had anticipated: humans. The first encounter with humanity was met with disdain. The Galactic Empire saw humans as primitive, barely capable of space travel, living on a single overpopulated planet. They had no advanced technology or superior weapons. Their culture was chaotic, their politics unstable, and their military negligible in comparison to the might of the Empire's vast fleets. Still, the Council had taken an interest in them, believing they were simply a curiosity, an anomaly that would fade into the annals of history as the galaxy moved on. They were wrong. The first signs of humanity's potential were subtle but undeniable. They had learned to adapt quickly, pushing the limits of their technology with reckless abandon. Human ingenuity turned their primitive warships into formidable vessels, outsmarting even the most advanced alien fleets. But that was only the beginning. Soon the humans began to display something even more dangerous: a complete and utter disregard for boundaries. The first real shock came when a human diplomat was invited to the Galactic Council. He arrived in a humble ship, alone, wearing nothing but his simple, everyday clothes. When he was asked to meet with the council members, he entered the grand hall, his posture relaxed, his gaze unwavering. As the representatives from various species looked on with disdain, the human spoke. "We don't have time for your games. We've come to show you what real strength is." The room fell silent. "What do you mean, human?" The Zorathian delegate growled, a towering reptilian figure with scales like steel. The human grinned. "You think you're all-powerful, but there's one thing that you and your so-called empire fail to realize. You can't stop us from doing whatever we want, and there's nothing you can do about it." The words hung in the air like a challenge. The arrogance was palpable, and the council members began to murmur among themselves, outraged by the human's audacity. But it was only a matter of weeks before they realized he wasn't bluffing. Human ships began appearing across the galaxy, in places where they shouldn't have been, docking at space stations, entering restricted territories, and making deals with species they had no business interacting with. They bypassed trade laws, ignored the Empire's restrictions, and began negotiating with powerful alien races. It wasn't just their strength that impressed, it was their complete disregard for authority. Humans didn't ask for permission, they simply took what they wanted. And then came the next shock. Humans didn't just want resources or power, they wanted something far more personal. They wanted to mate with the aliens. It started innocently enough with a few small, isolated incidents. Humans, in their usual unpredictable fashion, began forming relationships with various alien species. At first, the Galactic Empire assumed it was some form of cultural exchange, a curiosity perhaps. After all, the Empire had long seen itself as a breeding ground for interspecies alliances, but humanity's approach was different. They didn't ask for permission. They didn't wait for social approval. They simply took what they wanted, regardless of the alien species, rank, or gender. The first notable event occurred when a human male known as Captain Jackson found himself in a remote star system, orbiting a planet inhabited by a race of aliens called the Vorkari. The Vorkari were a highly intelligent species, their bodies long and serpentine, their scales shimmering in every color of the rainbow. Their people held to strict customs and etiquette, with rigid social hierarchies, and they had never been known to allow outsiders into their intimate circles. But when Captain Jackson met the Vorkari Queen, something shifted. They exchanged a few words, and within moments, Jackson had charmed the Queen into his bedchamber. The Vorkari were stunned. No human had ever been allowed this close to their most sacred leader, let alone be allowed such liberties. The Vorkari were furious, of course, but what could they do? They were powerless to stop the human. As word spread, the human's actions became more brazen. One after another, human males and females began to form relationships with aliens from every corner of the galaxy, And they didn't just stop at physical attraction. They began to form partnerships, relationships that were so deep, so intimate, that they began to change the way entire alien species viewed them. Human resilience, confidence, and sheer dominance in any setting made them irresistible. It wasn't long before the Galactic Empire noticed, and they were furious. The idea that a human could simply waltz into any alien civilization, seduce their leaders, and get away with it was a challenge they couldn't ignore. Their laws and customs were mocked. Their power structures were in jeopardy. But no matter what they did, no matter how many fleets they sent to enforce their rules, the humans remained unaffected. They simply pushed forward, flaunting their strength in ways that no other species dared. The turning point came when the Emperor himself ordered a special task force to eliminate the human threat. They would infiltrate human colonies, destroy their fleets, and crush any sign of rebellion. The mission was simple: eradicate the humans and restore order to the galaxy. But when they arrived at Earth, they found something unexpected. The humans were ready for them. With technology that outmatched the Empire's finest ships, the humans decimated the Emperor's fleet in a matter of days. No amount of force, no amount of strategy could slow their progress. The human ships were everywhere, unstoppable. They had become more than just conquerors. They had become the galaxy's greatest force of nature. By the time the Galactic Empire tried to act, it was too late. The humans had already solidified their place as the dominant species in the galaxy. The message was clear. Humans will mate with any alien they choose, and there isn't a single thing that can stop them. And so, the Galactic Empire was forced to acknowledge the new reality. The humans were no longer a primitive species. They were the new rulers of the stars, bold, unyielding, and free to do whatever they wanted. And nothing, not a single thing, could ever stop them again.